Football is awesome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Friday Night Roots. I'm your host, Justin Thomas. Do me a huge favor before we kind of jump into it today. Like the video, share it with your friends if you can, and subscribe if you can. Appreciate all the love I can get as I continue to build this, community with you guys, and I just appreciate all the support. So, before we jump into it, I kind of wanted to kind of tell you what I had in mind for this video today. This video is going to be a little more casual. I had already did the game previews for the games coming up tomorrow. So this Saturday morning, I kind of wanted to keep it more chill. I kind of wanted to give my thoughts on the state of the NFL and just really like why I think the NFL is so awesome and so great right now, especially we live in such an interesting time in history with technology and advancements in medical science and all these cool things that it almost seem like alien and foreign to us, but it seems as if, the NFL has done a great job adapting and growing with modern society and just, I kind of wanted to, the reason I started this channel is I kind of wanted to be a voice or, give an opinion from a standpoint of someone who just loves the game and has so much passion for the game, but was never good enough to say play D1 football or even obviously furthermore go to the NFL, right? So that's part of the reason I started this. So I kind of wanted to share my thoughts on, the state of the NFL, why I think it's done such a great job adapting to the modern era, and, ultimately why I love it. And so I wrote down some thoughts, and I'll go through them. But so anyway, I'll kind of jump into my thoughts on the NFL. I mean, I think the NFL stands as it's a towering testament, really, to the power of the sport to unite, entertain, and inspire. I mean, in an era where entertainment options are vast and fleeting, it seems that the National Football League has not only endured but has grown to become a cultural and commercial juggernaut. I think it's a league where raw athleticism meets strategic brilliance, where the best human physicality and mental acuity collide. But what makes the NFL so great isn't just, I think, the thrilling high-speed action on the field. I really think it's the intricate web of stories that unfold week after week, season after season. At its core, the NFL to me represents the ultimate stage for competition. I think every player, coach, and front office executive is locked into a relentless pursuit of excellence, whether they're seeking to overcome personal limitations or, create a championship legacy. I think the nature of football itself it's the blend of power, precision, and unpredictability that gives rise to some of the most dynamic and exciting moments in sports. The game's complexity is unmatched, with every snap bringing new possibilities, and every drive carrying the potential to shift the balance of a season for a team. From the bone-crushing hits to the jaw-dropping touchdown receptions, I think the NFL really provides a raw, visceral experience that captivates millions of people each week in America. Beyond the spectacle of the powerful force of football, I think the NFL is also a powerful force for connection. It's a league where players rise from humble beginnings, overcoming adversity and turning obstacles into triumphs. The stories of players like Tom Brady, a 6th-round draft pick who would go on to redefine greatness, or undrafted free agents who make their mark against the odds. Those kind of players and people are the lifeblood of this league. These tales resonate because they remind us that kind of anything is possible, that perseverance and grit can often outshine talent alone. And that's something I think that, we as Americans sometimes forget. The NFL's, I think, greatness is also, credited to its ability to evolve. While steeped in tradition, of course, it constantly adapts to the changing taste of its fan base. I think the demands of the modern world, the excitement of the Super Bowl, the energy of Sunday Night Football, the growing global presence of a sport, that ensures the NFL remains the forefront of entertainment. I think it's also, its embrace of technology, whether it's through cutting-edge analytics or player performance tracking or enhancing fan experiences. I think it ensures that the NFL isn't just reacting to change, but also leading the change. And moreover, I think the league has grown to become a social and cultural institution. Super Bowl Sunday is basically a national holiday in the National Football League. It's a shared experience that definitely transcends the game itself. I think it brings families, friends, communities together, creating memories for me especially that last long beyond that final whistle, right? And I think everyone, the big football lovers can attest to those memories that you've made watching football. The NFL's presence on social media and its interactive engagement with families and fans amplifies this connection. I think it fosters a sense of belonging for people, not just in the U.S., but all over the world. Yet, perhaps notably, it's the fierce loyalty and passion of people like me, the fans, that make the NFL, what it is today. I think the league thrives on incredible connection with fans who support their teams with unwavering devotion, often from cradle to grave. From the intense rivalries to the underdog triumphs, the drama is unparalleled. I think every game matters, every snap matters in the NFL, and I think that's what definitely puts it leagues above other sports. In the NFL, every season is a story. Some are epic sagas, others are heartbreaks, but it seems like each chapter keeps us on the edge of our seat, right? And that's what makes it so great. I think to kind of close it out, in a world where so much feels uncertain, I think the NFL is a constant. I think it's a place where heroes can be made, where legends can be born, and dreams can be realized, whether you're a diehard supporter or just a casual fan. I think there's something so unique and compelling about the league, and anyway, it's just a reflection of I think the very best of what a sport can be, and an arena probably for passion, but a symbol of what can be achieved with dedication and teamwork when they both collide. I think it's a celebration of the human spirit played out on the grandest, most great stage, imaginable. So, and I think that's, to close it out again, I think that's what makes the NFL so awesome in 2024. And I couldn't be more excited to continue covering football and just this time of year and just the passion it brings. So I appreciate all you guys who watch these videos, and let's kind of jump into the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to do today. What I really want to do today is kind of the other piece of the second half of this video is I was going to kind of cover Pete Carroll being hired by the Las Vegas Raiders. So let's kind of jump into that, and then we'll close it out, and as always, get our homes, get our kitchens ready for tomorrow as we prepare for those awesome NFC and AFC championship games. So, Pete Carroll hired by the Raiders. I'll give my opinions on that. To start, I love the move. I think it's a great move for the Raiders. I'll kind of dive in. Pete Carroll, obviously being hired as the Raiders head coach, they're going to put him on a 3-year deal with a 4th-year option, which I love because I think the last 4 coaches they've had have been on 4 years, and I don't think a single one's finished him. Carroll's is the only coach who's won a national championship and a Super Bowl. So that's just something unique, and I like part of the reason I like this move is where his experience comes from, how much experience he really has, and what he can do for the Raiders franchise. So, Carroll will be the 5th head coach since 2020 and the 9th overall since 2011 under the owner Mark Davis. I know that's not a great stat, but I really think having Tom Brady in the building and Mark kind of loosening up the reins for Tom can really impact the Raiders franchise in a positive way. So, Carroll's strengths, I know he's, right off the bat, I know he's known for building strong cultures, upbeat energy, and a positive attitude. I mean, at 73, that guy's doing jumping jacks for fun. I mean, he is just more active than I am probably day to day, right? I mean, this guy he's physical, and it is, honestly, it's a bad day for any piece of gum that sees Pete Carroll coming. we know how he is in the gum, right? I think the main challenge for the Raiders, given Pete Carroll's still going to be finding that quarterback. I know there's possible interest in Russell Wilson as a bridge QB, but I think the Raiders still hold that number 6 spot in the draft, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how they plan that out. The role of Tom Brady, Tom Brady was involved in the role of hiring GM John Spytek, but I think the final decision on coach was made by Mark Davis, and I like that. I think Mark's still the owner. And they hired Spytek and then kind of right after hired Carroll, so it sounds like they already kind of had a guy in mind. Carroll's got a very being a Niners fan, back in the 2013 to all the years he spent in Seattle. I've watched a lot of fucking Pete Carroll football, so I know his style. What I wrote down for his style, he's a run game focused guy. He's a defensive guy. He really focuses on, I'd say, building confidence in players. He's a veteran coach with a solid track record. Though critics question his ability to win titles as he gets older and kind of adapt to an always adapting league, right? I think if he can kind of adapt with it a little bit and just get a good culture going in Vegas, that's all the Raiders are really asking of him. I think Carroll's expected to bring stability and respectability to a team in transition who's really just still trying to figure themselves out, still trying to get their feet and build it, like I said, with like the Bears, build that foundation, build the concrete before they start framing walls, right? And the Raiders do have a lot of questions, but they have a lot of money. They got some good draft picks this year. So I think it'll all tie to, assuming Spytek knows what he's doing and Carroll knows what he's doing and Brady can help where he can, right? I think they have an opportunity to really do it right. And this is honestly one of because my mom is a Raiders fan, I've been surrounded by Raiders. I kind of passively follow them, right? I've actually talked about them quite a bit on this show, or this channel. I've never felt more confident for the Raiders organization because I knew AP. I knew when they hired AP again, I knew it was going to be a struggle. I mean, Devontae and Crosby basically were like, hire him or we're out. And then halfway through the season, both of those guys were like, well, fuck, we regret this. We're done with this guy too. So this is the first hire in a while. I did like the Gruden hire, and I think Gruden, that's a conversation for a different day, but I did like the Gruden hire anyway. I think quarterback options for the Raiders. With the number 6 pick, there's definitely uncertainty whether the top quarterbacks like Shador or Cam Ward will even be available at that pick. But listen, I'm not... With this being a lighter quarterback draft, the media is really only covering like 2 or 3 quarterbacks. It's like, Shador, obviously, Cam Ward, maybe some Ewers in there, Carson Beck staying in college. So it's like the media is really focusing, but there's like kind of what I said earlier, there's generational talent in this draft that isn't going to go in the first and second round. It's there, right? It's finding it. So, I don't think Cam and Shador will be available for them, but there's still options out there. I think it's not, fuck it, we're screwed, we don't have a quarterback. That is never the case, I think, in the NFL. Crazy shit happens. So, yeah, super excited to see who ends up taking that spot, who ends up becoming the starter. So, yeah, we'll see. I think if the top quarterbacks are gone, I think the Raiders may consider waiting and risk reaching for a less proven option. That or try and find something in free agency. But at this point, like I said, the Raiders know they're in a rebuild, and that gives, I think, Carroll and it gives the GM a little bit of, I think it helps them calm down a little bit, control their emotions of like, hey, I know I don't need to win a Super Bowl next year. Because I don't think that's what the expectation is. I don't think that's what the expectation Davis is giving. I don't think it's the expectation Tom is giving. I think it's more like, hey, build the foundation, add a little more each year. And if they do that, and Pete Carroll's able to do that, the GM's able to do that, who knows? Maybe the Pete Carroll ends up becoming the guy for a little bit longer than 3 or 4 years. So, analysis of the hire, I give it like an A-, B+ hire. I think he brings, given where the state of the Raiders the last 20 years since I was a kid, I think Carroll brings the needed experience and the culture. I think there's nothing a guy like Pete Carroll hasn't seen in his career. I mean, the guy's been coaching football for fucking ever. So, I think that helps. And I really don't think, I said to my mom, who's a Raiders fan, we were texting about it, I don't think he needs to win a Super Bowl. I think he just needs to build the foundation for the team to give them a more focused winning culture. I don't think he needs to win the Super Bowl. I don't think anybody's expecting him to win the Super Bowl. All I think he's trying to do is get the franchise relevant, like get them, and not only that, fix the internal pieces that maybe aren't working well. Because Pete Carroll's been through so many buildings, through so many coaching staff, so many front offices. I think he not only will be a good coach, I think he's also a good kind of consultant, if you will, to like, hey, this is an issue in your front office that I see could impact us. And Tom too. Hey, this is an issue in your front office. This guy's kind of weird. I don't think he's doing the best job, or I don't think he's doing what he's supposed to. Right? They can take that experience and apply it to the Raiders, and hopefully fix the organization as a whole. So, yeah, I think Tom Brady has definitely helped a lot. I mean, I don't need to tell you too much about Pete Carroll's coaching experience. I mean, he has 30 plus years of experience just being a head coach. That doesn't include DC positions coach. I mean, so the guy's top tier coach. He's been coaching his whole life. If you look at the course of his career, obviously he won the 2013 Super Bowl the Super Bowl with Russ and the Legion of Boom team, and then in 2014 they went again to the Super Bowl, but they didn't make it, so they were NFC champs in 2014. I mean, basically in every spot Pete Carroll's been a head coach, he's been an over 500 coach. Always more wins than losses. So, he's got that track record that most organizations look for. I think there's only one spot he wasn't. I think it was at the Patriots, but I think at that time the Patriots weren't, obviously they weren't what they were with Belichick yet. So other than one, I mean, having an over 500, win percentage and at all your places you've coached other than one is pretty damn good. I mean, the guy's basically been a coordinator he's been a coordinator or better since like 1980. I mean, this guy's got 5 decades of coaching experience. He hasn't not been a head coach other than last year. He's been a head coach in the National Football League since not in the National Football League. He went back to USC, but he's been a head coach in general since 1997. I mean, that's just all pure coaching experience, and that's honestly as old as he is, and I know the risk they take with that. I don't even think it's a risk. I mean, look at the guy. He's more active, healthier than me, jumping around, throwing balls, throwing catches, kind of has that Harbaugh vibe to him. I know he's much older than Harbaugh, but still, I think he's ready for this. I don't think it's a bad choice by the Raiders at all. The age thing is simply a dull argument to me right now, especially if I'm a Raiders fan. Don't listen to that crap. I mean, Pete Carroll's, he's sharp and he's ready to coach, and he's one of those guys where you could drag him through the mud, and if he's still able to walk, he's going to be coaching. So, with that, the Raiders, coaching curse is hopefully ends, right? No coach has completed their full 4 years as the Raiders head coach since Gruden did in, I think, 98 to 2001. Obviously, I think Vegas owner Mark Davis hopes to change that with Pete Carroll as their next hire. So, yeah, I mean, that kind of concludes my thoughts on the Pete Carroll hire. I'm sure in the coming weeks, the stuff starts to slow down before the Super Bowl. That I'll have a little more time to dive into that, and I'm sure there's more coaching updates too that I need to dive into that'll come. We have 2 weeks after today before the Super Bowl, so we're definitely gonna have time to make some videos and put some content out for you guys. So, and then tomorrow I'll be reacting to both of those games after. So, yeah, everybody, and then let me touch on my predictions real quick. Let me see here. Okay. So I wanted to highlight my predictions before tomorrow one more time for everybody. My prediction for Washington versus Philly is 24-23 Commanders. Oh yeah, baby. I'm taking the upset. I think in the panel of 10, only 1 out of 10 chose the Commanders. I'm still going Commanders, 24-23. Let's go, Jaden. And then my prediction for Buffalo versus Kansas City, I got 28-20 Bills. Let's go, Josh Allen. I know the rest of America is probably rooting for the Bills also. So 24-23 Commanders and then 28-20 Bills. And I think that covers it for today. Like I said, tomorrow after the games, I'll be doing a reaction and posting that. Everybody enjoy your Saturday. Get some good food ready for tomorrow. And as always, let's talk some football. Love you.